I totally thought that's how I was going to start every video. Okay, here goes. Today I want to approach negligence in society. This thought started because yesterday my friend and I were driving down the street and we spotted this woman on the side of the road. She was an overweight woman in a motorized wheelchair cruising down the sidewalk. We both took notice of her and it sparked a conversation of differing opinions, and so as a result I've been thinking about it for the past day. What I said to him is that whenever I see people like that, I always wonder like what events happened in their life that led them to that specific situation. And obviously there's a variety of reasons that lead to people being in those situations where something out of the person's control led them to being in that situation. I just want to acknowledge that I acknowledge that. Here's what bothers me. When people are overweight or obese and it's for no other reason than just negligence. Like, it's no mystery that people that are overweight or obese tend to have more medical conditions. And there are even some studies that like specifically show that like lower income people have a higher tendency to be in that particular situation. I'm not sure how I want to say this next bit. This is like one of those topics where I'm afraid someday someone's gonna dig it up and like hold it against me. But it's hard for me to look at society or any situation where it makes sense that people who achieve greatly have to contribute, even if it's indirectly, to people who neglect like the body that they live in. Basically, specifically what I'm talking about is any welfare dollars that go to people who are essentially neglecting themselves. Like in Virginia schools, we have something called SOLs, which stands for Standards of Learning, and they're basically these tests that you take at the end of a school year that are like an average of what you're supposed to have learned in a specific subject, and it proves that you are at least on average with what you're supposed to know at that point in time about history or English or math or whatever the case may be. Then in gym class we had physical fitness testing. And when I like remember my days of going through physical fitness testing, I remember going for presidential, which was like the highest bar set in the physical fitness testing world, and it meant that you like achieved above average across the board on everything. It was like a huge goal for me to always get presidential, and I got it from like 3rd grade on. But the thing about physical fitness testing was like if you got presidential, awesome. But if you didn't, I mean, you had to like brace yourself because nothing happened. It's abundantly clear in like not even just the United States, but the world that we live in, obesity is like a problem. And I feel like there should be a standard with physical fitness testing. Like if you can't achieve like X number of pull-ups, then we need to focus on that and teach you or get you to the point where you're healthy enough or strong enough or physically fit enough to be able to do at least like a minimum average. I can see why we would focus on everything educational because that helps you with your career and as you develop your life. But then when you think about like your physical health, that helps with like your life. Why is that not more important? And it's like, I know what America stands for, and I know that it's like, it's a free country, and it's impossible to like tell somebody that they have to do something. But I feel like if there was a way to implement it, like where good health was a requirement, you had to like file your taxes at the end of the year and prove that you ran 10 5Ks. Now, obviously I don't think that that's exactly realistic, and I understand that. But what I do think we can do is become more proactive about it, and like if you're in a certain income bracket and you have a certain BMI, then like probably the best thing to do is like pre-assign appointments with like nutritionalists or life coaches or like personal trainers. If nothing else, I feel like then when or if something happens, it will at least show that like steps have been taken to try to improve their health. Now obviously I don't have all the answers, but that doesn't mean I'm not gonna ask you about it. So what are your thoughts on this? What are your thoughts on negligence in general? It doesn't necessarily have to apply to this particular context, but I can always extrapolate. Even in the towel section down below. I hope I didn't overstep or offend anybody today. Jay, that's all I've got for you today, man. I'll see you tomorrow.